Awesome, thank you, Renae, and welcome to another show of Let's Talk About Ice here on the couch on the Gold Coast. We're running a little bit late. We're going to do things a little bit different. We've had a few people go, hey, you know, your promotions and talking about your sponsors beforehand take a little bit too long. I hope you hear our heart, because you know people support us to do what we do, so we do like to plug them and to share that they're helping. And there's been so many people today that I'm not going to do that. What we do is put their names up on our Facebook, and we do a little promos every so often to give thanks, yeah, for the contribution and for the unity in what we do, because together we achieve more, yeah. So today I'm going to keep that area a little bit short. I do have to do a couple of promotions before I introduce our guest here tonight. One, the Ride Against Ice in October. If you haven't registered, hurry up. It's going to be amazing. We've got a big concert coming at the end. We do have a COVID safe plan, so it can go ahead. We've discovered, and we are really excited about it. So get onto our Facebook page events, or our web page. That's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and register. If you don't have a bike, it's all right. You can register. You can come ride on your 4 wheels instead of 2 wheels, right? But come, yeah, there's a big event at the end. Check out the Facebook for details. Also, the Sensi. Sensi is like, they've got these smelly things, like they're really awesome. I put them in my pocket, I burn them on my warmers, and they're doing a big fundraiser for us, because as you know, we are not government funded. We have to keep raising funds to keep doing what we're doing, yeah. We've got to pay electricity, we've got to pay internet, all of that. So we need to cover those costs. So if you love Sensi and the smelly stuff, get on there. There's all kinds of stuff you can put in your washing, you can put in your clothes pockets, or you can burn it as well. But there's so many things. Have a look. There is a link on Facebook. It's called Sensi Link, and you can have a look at what they got for sale, and their profits come back to help us, yeah, at Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. Also, this Saturday, guys, we're having a mega sale in our op shop. We're just overflowing with like all these brand name things, and they've been putting up, if you haven't joined the ARC op shop Facebook page yet, please do that. And Renae, can you pop a link there for everyone? But this Saturday particularly, like, things are going to be walking out the door, like for $1.50, and like really cheap, because we've got way too much stock. Thank you, God, because we're over and abundantly supplied for. But that means that you get things at really discounted prices, and some stuff still have tags and they're brand new, and it's like amazing. I've already been shopping in there today. So but we're getting new stuff every day, and get in there and come along Saturday. We have a sausage sizzle here. We've got lots of stuff, freebies and stuff to give away as well. So get down here. That's at 204 Nerang Street, Southport. Come and visit our op shop, because it helps what we do. Yeah, so you'll be directly contributing towards educating kids, yeah, and helping them not have to go down to hell, and not to be entrapped in ice addiction, which is torment. Absolute torment. So by coming here and shopping and helping us and getting something for yourself, you can help us put the freeze on ice in our nation, yeah. So that's all that I'm going to talk about today. I will do a shout out for our 1-800 No to Ice number. And if you need help, if you have a loved one that's in addiction, it doesn't have to be just ice addiction. You might have a loved one that's in addiction and you need some support. We have people online and also with us that support families, yeah, their lived experience. Family support people that are trained to do this. We have counsellors as well online at the moment who are there if you want to ask any questions. But the number to call is 1-800 No to Ice. So that's 1-800. Do you want to read that for me?
6686 423.
Awesome. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome Renae.
Hi.
Renae, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
And thank you for agreeing to share your story, guys. It's a big deal. You know, it's a really big deal. And I say this every week because it is. You know, we've already started chatting a little bit about, you know, the entrapment. And, you know, it's an emotional thing because, you know, we know what that feels like. And we don't wish it upon the worst enemy, hey?
No, nobody.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, too many are in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the numbers are growing. So the numbers are growing. There are more and more people entrapped in. It's just a scourge in our community. But we've decided that we've made it our business because we know what that hell looks like and we know what that feels like. And through compassion and through love, we've taken a stand against it. And not only do we educate kids as a preventative measure in schools, we do community forums. We also help people that are in addiction create pathways into recovery through peer support, like just we're called buddies, and we do an on the streets program, as you know. So we go out and we feed people that are because of addiction they've ended up on the street, homeless, and the entrapment and the hole gets deeper and deeper, and they're cold and hungry and they can't think for themselves. So we come in there and love on them and tell them, look, I was there and I made it a pathway out, and you can too. So we do that on the weekends. So guys, you can get involved in all different areas as well. If you want to volunteer with us, just go to our website and click volunteer, because it's the unity that helps us. Helps people more.
Connection is the opposite of addiction.
That's beautiful. I love that. Can we write that up? Write that up.
Connection is the opposite of addiction.
Yeah, that's so true. It's about relationships, and it all boils down to love. It really does. Yeah. Renae, I've heard you were entrapped in ice addiction for a very long time.
Yeah.
Can you take me on that journey with you? Like, how did that start? And
my story started way before I was even here. Like you said, ice was killing people today and destroying lives, but I think it goes back even before that. Both my parents were heroin addicts, and I was born on the methadone program, and I guess through time and through the era of society and the era of drugs and how that changed and transformed, the ones that were already addicted or already in that entrapment just fell victim to the grip of the devil, I guess. Yeah.
Tell me about your upbringing. What did that look like?
Well, I was living with my mum till I was about 7. And I ended up going into foster care because her disease put blockages on her capability of being a good mother. Took me a long time to think of it like that, and unfortunately I had to get an understanding of my disease to understand her disease.
Yep. How did you think about it before?
My mum just was a shit cunt. Sorry for the swearing.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck.
I hear you, because we may be talking to some people out here today that have loved ones that are entrapped in addiction.
And that's what they think. That's
It
what
is.
the family think, that they don't care, but they do.
Yeah. And they are entrapped.
They are.
And this is what we try and get across when we do workshops in schools. A lot of, we're finding second generation, third generation, that these kids go home to families that are entrapped in addiction, and they can't understand. I've done workshops for cops, up in central Queensland, and they're like, I'll never forget this day that this cop came up to me at the end, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, from this I understand how I can help them. I didn't understand that, and I was like, you loser, get it in the back of the, change your life, and I couldn't understand why they couldn't.
It was that easy.
Yeah, and he actually got the revelation why, they're behaving like that, and what he needed to do to help, and it changed everything for him, and he's doing amazing things out there now.
It's
so
beautiful.
By taking away, by understanding, it takes away that hate and anger and that stigma, and it creates a space of love, and through love we can change anything.
That's right.
And through love we can approach and come together, and change can happen. But without that, when there's collision and hiding.
Just closed-minded too.
Yeah.
Just closed-minded people not wanting to get an understanding.
Why do you think that is, Renae?
Oh, because it's taboo. It's taboo. You don't talk about drug addiction.
Yeah.
You don't talk about people that choose to, you know, be homeless instead of feed their children. You know, what?
Do you think they choose that?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Of
No,
course not.
absolutely.
But
And
that's what society believes, because that's all society is saying out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's their voices are from people who don't know.
That's right, exactly. Until you've been there.
That's right.
Until you've been there, and that's why we're activated to do what we do, and we can understand it. That there's nothing more powerful than somebody sitting with somebody on the curb of a street, handing over a plate of food and a blanket, and saying, "I was where you are. Come here," and you know, putting your arms around them and saying, you know, I was able to create change. Can I help you?
Yeah.
You know, I want to walk with you, and that.
We need more of that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that cop, for example, it's the justice system, it's everybody that you think can help, don't help.
Well, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're all about
And
lived
people
experience here.
Reach out for help because they're scared of judgment, they're scared of stigma.
Yeah.
They're scared of being frowned upon instead of loved upon.
That's right. That's right. Tell me what your childhood was like. Can we go back there? So,
Mum was a heroin addict. She was on the methadone program when I was born, and still living rapidly in addiction, you know, pharmaceutical drugs and alcohol. And I was sexually molested on the often to help feed her addiction. That was tough, you know, but unfortunately this shit will make you do shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, because
That's
there's no other way. You feed your disease or you die.
That's right. I hear you.
So I left Mum's care when I was 7 and was raised in foster care. And a lot of that was still the same, you know, sexual abuse, domestic violence, whatnot. So I was a very confused and angry child.
Yeah.
I hated the world and I hated everyone in it, and I hated anybody that had, like discipline over me. Like I hated the cops, I hated the government, I hated anybody that, like the man.
Yeah.
Well, there's a very fuck the man kind of childhood.
Yeah.
Which didn't probably help for my adolescence and my young adulthood either.
Yeah.
Because it was like a war, me against them all the time.
Yeah. I hear you.
So yeah, it was very dark.
Yeah.
Very lonely and very dark.
Did you, your dad?
I didn't know who my father was. I met my father when I was 23. Just after my mum passed. My mum ended up dying probably, I think it was 3 weeks after she met my first child. So as I was becoming a mum, I was losing my mum.
Wow.
So then after she passed, I went out searching and found my dad. And he was still using heroin at the time. And probably about 12, 18 months after that, he passed away due to liver failure because of heroin.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is what we continually talk about in the schools when we go to kids. They don't understand that they're thinking, oh, I'm just going to party up just that once. I'm just going to like have a good time for now and then I'll be okay later. Guys, it's an entrapment. The road at the end of addiction, of drugs is hell. It is, you know, prison, death, mental health problems, kidney failures. You know, you're talking about it live here now, and this is the reality, you know, and everyone thinks it's not, oh, it won't happen to me. I got it under control.
I remember when I was probably, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, my brother, he's, 11 years older than me. And we grew up on the Gold Coast. My brother is still here on the Gold Coast. And I remember looking up at him, coming home from the beach and going back to his place one weekend and just seeing him with all his mates and And, you know, back 10, 15 years ago here on the Gold Coast, it was very surfy, cruisy, you know, it had that vibe. And I just looked at him with all his mates and gone, when I'm at that age, I just pray that I'm even half as cool as this mob.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's funny because people talk about, you know, you don't grow up aspiring to be a drug addict.
No, you don't.
I did. I just didn't know that's what it was.
Wow.
I did. I wanted to be that drug addict. I wanted to be that reckless 1%er that didn't follow the rules and just did whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah. And but you didn't recognize or see the consequences that are associated with that, or what was coming. You know, we often, like, when we go to youth justice and stuff, and some kids at high school, they'll say, oh, but my friend uses this and he looks alright, it doesn't look like what you're saying, but you don't see what's going on inside. It starts inside. You start destroying your inside, in your organs, but your brain and, you know, your internal, and it comes out and it starts to show later, you know, and it goes on and on and on. Yeah, absolutely, your soul.
Yeah, it's a cycle. Like we used to have fun, and then to be able to have fun, we had to use.
Yeah,
it's that thing, and then like we used to live, and then live to use.
Yeah.
And it changes before you even have a grip on it.
Yeah, very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's, we all experience, like when you've had experience in that area, it's not fun. You know, it's not fun. You need it, like you need air, and you'll do whatever it takes to get it.
And that's why we use more, because the high was fun. Every other aspect was not so fun, and the only way we knew to not think of all that other aspect that wasn't fun was to just use again.
Yeah.
And you're trapped in that cycle.
Yeah.
You're like a mouse on a wheel, and you just can't get out.
And it starts destroying chemicals in your brain that called dopamine that keep you happy. You start to, you know, experience suicide thoughts, depression, you know, anger, all kinds of negative things that, you know, you lose people around you, you lose relationships, you lose, you know, love for yourself, you start to hate yourself. Tell me about what happened once that journey proceeded. So you saw your brother hanging out with his friends and he was using?
Yeah, back when I was really young, like 10, 11, 12, I was smoking weed and drinking alcohol, and you know what I thought was party, you know.
Yeah.
And then I actually hated meth, I hated ice, I hated speed, I hated the lot. And then I was dating a boy who was an ex-user, supposedly, you know, and I just said, that's okay. Just don't ever bring it around me. Don't have it near me. Don't come to me when you're under the influence. But unfortunately, I can't control other people's actions.
Yeah.
You know, and before long, he was at my house with some and high. So my stubborn, closed-minded head was like, what is so good about this shit? Like, what is so powerful about this crap that, you know, mothers will say goodbye to their kids willingly.
Yeah. Mothers
will hand over their children for the neighbours to assault so they can get free drugs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I didn't know any different. And it's like that, not even once.
Yeah.
The moment I had my first chemical, it fed that disease that was already like doing push-ups in my mind.
Yep.
You know, just waiting for me to just feed it.
Yep.
And then that was it. Like, it wasn't a slow progression. It was it. I was gone.
Yep.
I started using differently to all my friends around me. I was 16, clubbing here down on the Gold Coast and breaking into clubs. And my mates would just go one night and then spend the rest of the weekend to come down and get clean, to do life throughout the week. And no, not this one. I was a 16-year-old run amok kid who spent 3, 4, 5 nights in a row down in the Gold Coast on my own.
Wow.
You know, anything
Wow.
to feed that.
Wow.
Before long, just walking the streets of Palm Beach, hitchhiking and just working.
At 16.
Yeah, 16.
What were you doing for work?
Well, the only thing that I had to offer. A gift of the gab and a body.
And that's most
And the
women
confidence and no
Most-
fear and no... Because at that age, my brain hasn't even developed enough for me to understand consequences.
Yes. Plus,
That on using as well.
ice hijacks your frontal lobe. You can't process logic, rational decisions. Consequences, not even, that's not even able to process in your brain. It doesn't exist. You're just acting on animal instinct, which is the midbrain.
Yeah.
You just need the next 5 minutes of pleasure. You do whatever it takes, and then oh no, I've done that. And that is the
and the
issue with
entrapment
this
is you get to that point and you don't even care.
Yeah, because you can't.
You don't even care.
Yeah, you can't think,
Mm.
and you need it like you need air.
Yep, like you need air.
My goodness, so you were on the streets at 16 using
Willingly.
daily.
In my head, it was willingly.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Yeah, you didn't see the entrapment. You didn't see
Nah.
that you were.
No, I wanted
Hijack.
that's the entrapment because I believed I wanted that.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
I believed that that's what I wanted, and I couldn't just party one night. How boring!
Yeah.
Why would you do it one night when you can do it 6?
Tell me what happened after that.
And then
How did life start to roll out?
I guess I was very blessed a bit later. Like I became a mum when I was 21, and I was still using, but I could blanket it with motherhood, you know.
Yeah.
And just secretly do it like under the carpet. Like society didn't know. As long as I took my child to a doctor's appointment when they had a doctor's appointment,
Yeah.
no one would know what I did before and after the appointment, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, the kid's father. I guess it all started when I met him. Like I met him getting on.
Yeah.
It was not meant to be anything serious, but just get some drugs that one night.
Yeah.
And then 9 years later and 3 children.
What? Just like that. You wake up one day and it's...
Just like that, you know.
I've got to ask a question,
Yeah.
right? Because I know heroin shoot up, mainly. So did you have like a stigma in your brain that went, I'll do drugs, but I'm not going to shoot up?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If I didn't shoot up or do heroin, I was never as bad as my mother.
Yeah.
She was a junkie, I was not.
Yeah, I often hear that. I'm not a junkie just because I smoke, or just because I take a pill. That's just not. I'm not an addict because
I'm not addicted. I want to do this. I don't have a problem. I want this.
Yeah, we hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
Until you start to lose sense
I
of
can
reality.
stop. I just don't want to.
Tell me about
Delusion.
definite delusion. We buddy a lot of people. Sometimes they come to us and they want change because they're in a corner, but they go, I don't really have a problem. Okay, that's when we do the cost versus the benefit. So, why are you using? And by the way, you can learn this if you're a family member. You can learn this at home. You can do the Sammy. It's okay. You can do the Sammy Brief training that's on our website through Optimal Health Group, and that is available at I think $45, but it's George puts that up there to help equip you, right? So you can have that conversation, cost versus the benefits, and so you line up everything, going, okay, what's it costing you to do this? Oh, well, it's costing me money, I've got relationships, I've had my kids taken off me, whatever, you list them all up. What's the benefits? Well, I can get away from my problems, I don't have to deal with things, whatever it is. But then you go, okay, well, what's the cost if you keep using? What's the cost if you stop? And so you kind of start to weigh it up. And once you write everything down, you can go, man,
It's funny.
the list of using is, I've got a lot more to gain if I stop.
The benefits of what you were just saying, of like what my list would have been, every reason why I was using drugs was to escape or to numb the things that drugs were causing anyway.
That's right.
The fact that I didn't have my children, well, why was that?
Yeah.
The fact I didn't have relationships with my family, I didn't have a career, I had nothing going for me.
Yeah.
Why was that?
The reason, I want to know the reason why. Like, what was in your mind when you said, "Yeah, I'm gonna use." Wow. What were you thinking? What were you thinking process?
There was none. I guess there was none. It was a.
But did you know that drugs was bad for you?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I did.
Did you have any like? I don't really like want to do what my mum did, or I don't really want to do drugs, or did you just go?
It was that until I popped my first chemical.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was ecstasy out in the streets, I first got a taste of that, and for the first time in my life, I was confident.
Yeah.
I had self-esteem. I knew who I was, and I was proud of everything that made me me.
It's fake though.
For sure, it's fake.
Absolute fake. It's not real. It's not
But
real.
it didn't matter whether it was real or not, because I felt it and the feeling was real. Whether it was coming from a fake substance or from something pure, didn't matter. You know, like for example, if you handed me that phone, or a puppy had it in its mouth and then just dropped it at my feet, doesn't matter how I got it, I still got a phone. That's all that mattered. The phone, not how I got it. You know, that feeling is what mattered. The first time I wasn't a statistic. I wasn't a dropout foster kid that was just a junkie's daughter. I wasn't a domestic violence. I wasn't a sexual assault victim. I wasn't a this. I was.
What would you say? Because we've got, you know, youth watching out there that are going through bullying, that are going through wanting to mask their problems, that are not confident, that are feeling insecure, that really and are probably dabbling in a bit of pills and gonna be offered ice. They will be offered ice. You know that it's everywhere.
It's out there.
Why shouldn't they use it? You did. You just said it made you feel like
good question.
All that. So
why
what
shouldn't
would you say
use
then?
it? That's a really hard question to answer, because like you said, why shouldn't they when I did? Because
why are you clean?
I'm clean because I got sick of that band-aid of drug did not work no more.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. It's a band-aid.
That's good.
It's a band-aid for an inner problem.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to find a chemical solution for a spiritual problem.
Yeah.
That's the core.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's right.
You know, you got to beat
the problem, not mask it.
That's right. You know, like I don't know why people shouldn't do it, but I tell you, I know why I should speak up about what I've experienced.
Yeah.
Because not many people reach to my age and are here still alive to tell you why you should or shouldn't do it.
That's the reason why you shouldn't do it, because
That's right.
the end result of ice addiction is death. You know, mental health hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, prison. It's hell. It's really hell.
I would be the statistics. I think addiction, we are losing more addicts through drug addiction, whether it's crime related, drug related, overdose related, suicide, more than car accident victims.
That's true. Yep, I was told that statistic the other day.
That's not said out loud.
No.
You know.
It was the other day. The opposition police commissioner actually I had words with, and he said that we're losing more. We're losing more people to this drug, to ice, than
and it's
we
a
are
domino effect for every adult that we're losing because of all this. 9 times out of 10, there's at least 1 or 2 children that are suffering and losing their parents.
Every day.
Every day.
Yep. Did you know that in 2015, the stats that the government produced can tell us that every day that 27 youth, just youth, we're not talking about like nationally people, right?
Just
human
youth.
beings, just youth, 27 every day are becoming addicted to ice and becoming entrapped. Every day, another 27. Now, we know for a fact that our wastewater research has told us there was a 480% increase in methamphetamine found in our wastewater. So the spike has gone up from 2015 right to today, if that was 27 kids every day, that's somebody's kid, somebody's child that is becoming addicted and entrapped in this hell of ice addiction every single day. Tomorrow, another 27, guys. You know, and what we're doing, this is my plea to the government.
It may not be your child today, but it will be one day.
That's right, it will be.
It will be.
Or your grandchild.
Yeah.
Or your niece. Or your nephew. That's why we are doing something about it today. You know, we are working on a project called the Bodhi Bear, and we're going to have a series of bears that we're going to release, teddy bears. You know, with different names. They're going to be Bodhi and Layla to start with. But you know, the reason why we're doing that, I look at this bear and I look at my grandson, whose name is Bodhi, and my granddaughter, whose name is Layla. And it just squishes my heart to know that today on our streets it's rampant, and they're going to walk into that. And what are we doing different today to protect our kids, the next generation?
Just knowledge and awareness, that's all we can do.
That's all we can do, and tell them from, I've been to hell, let me tell you what hell's like. And we can show them and tell them what happens in that world, and in hope that we can get them to see, you know, the entrapment and what it really is. It's not what they think it is.
You asked me earlier, why did I get clean? I got clean so my children don't follow me and my friends from the beach or the park and look at me and my mob and go, I want to be that cool when I'm your age.
That's a good reason.
Because it's not cool.
No, it's not cool to be nice. No.
And if that's all they know, then that's all they'll be.
Yeah.
That's why I got clean.
That's awesome. Tell me about the journey from, so you were using every day, you're on the streets, you're, you know, entrapped in that world, and you had one baby?
Yeah, I had one baby, and then soon later I had another baby. I have 3 children now.
How old are they?
My eldest is 12. He has developmental, he has social anxiety. I was using while I was pregnant with him. And he hates school. He gets bullied because he's different. And that's my doing, you know. We don't understand the consequences of our using today and what that impacts. Not only it has on our lives, but the ones around us, you know. Yeah. Many years later down the track. Yeah. I've got 2 sons and a daughter. My daughter's 10, and my youngest son is 6. And through my last, well, I was always using. I just adapted my addiction to fit the lifestyle that I had. Yep. You know, I couldn't walk the streets and get gear every day while I had 3 kids at home on my own. So I just swapped the drugs for something that was accessible. You know, pharmaceuticals from the doctor, alcohol, whatever it took for me to feed that addiction. Because although I wasn't using ice every day, or I wasn't, you know, smoking meth and shit every day, the same problems were there. The needing to mask my feelings on a daily basis was still there. Yeah. My not loving who I was and not being able to live a day sober was still there. So I just switched it. You know, my last relapse though, I actually was, I think it was nearly 5 years or 6 years I hadn't touched meth.
So, stop there 1 minute. You said your last relapse, so you tried to get clean many times along the way?
No, I just stopped using meth.
Okay.
And I thought that I was clean because I wasn't using hard drugs.
Yes.
That's the entrapment too.
Yep.
It will make you believe that you're doing okay because you're only taking pharmaceuticals, and you get that from a doctor. What doctor would give you something that's going to hurt you? You know?
Yep.
But the doctor didn't know that I would fake a toothache to get over-the-counter codeine, and it would say take 1 to 2 tablets a day. I'm taking 2 to 3 packets a day.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But yeah, I went to a party once, and there was meth there. And it's okay, I haven't touched it for so long, I can just do this party.
Yeah.
That party ended up lasting me a full 5 months relapse.
Yep.
Where from not touching meth for years, I couldn't go a single day without being on meth.
Yep.
Until the point where I was homeless.
Yep.
Till I had handed over the care of my children, just like my mum did. I was living on a riverbank, purposely, because it meant I had no rent to pay. It meant I had no obligations. And
all you did was meth?
all I did was meth. Yes. The getting and using and finding ways and means to get more, that's what my life was. Staying on a riverbank and leaving my kids with people just so I could go all day to do the get on thing, you know, because it takes all day. It's always a fuck around. That hasn't changed. And, you know, coming back and hearing stories of my 4-year-old at the time, maybe younger, 3, falling off the riverbank and nearly drowning while I was not there because I was too busy getting high. Just shit that my kids should not have experienced, you know.
How long did this go on for, Renae, this lifestyle?
Oh, that last bit, only 5 months, thank God. Thank God, you know. Obviously God had a better plan for my children, and he knew that what with me was not what they needed to be.
Yeah.
And I knew that too.
So they took your kids?
I had an ultimatum. My eldest son was already living with his father because he wanted to be with his dad.
Yeah.
And
was his dad using?
while I was with him, yes, we used for 9 years together.
Yeah.
But when we separated, and he was he could hide his addiction, where I couldn't. I didn't want it, I didn't care.
Yep.
Because addiction was who I was. I was born an addict. My family are addicts, so I didn't need to hide the fact that I was an addict.
Yep.
But he did. So yeah, one phone call, I was expecting my eldest son to come home. He wanted to come back home. By the end of that phone call, I got told I've got till tomorrow morning to pack up all the kids' stuff because they're coming to pick up the other 2, or Docs was coming. And being a foster kid, I refused that for my children.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had all their stuff ready and I had it all packed, and they left the next morning. Like that. That killed me. Because at that moment, it was just like my mum.
You remember being that kid?
Yep. And I continued to use. I was on a one-way ticket to either die or go to jail because that's what I thought I was worthy of. And I guess I scared myself, you know, because I knew I was this close to doing things that I'd never done before, like shooting up.
Yeah.
And
so your use got more crazy, and
I just didn't care.
Yeah.
You know.
Tell me, why didn't you stop?
Because it was too painful. It was too painful to live the life that I had created for myself. And I'd rather have died. I thought my kids would have rather me not there. And I didn't know any other way, you know. All I seen was if I continued the track that I was on, then they would have lived the same lifestyle that I did. They would have grown up the same way I did. My daughter left my care at the same age I left my mum.
Wow.
Back at home.
Wow.
7.
And the cycle repeats itself.
The cycle repeats itself, but does it? It only repeats itself if I allow it to.
That's right. Exactly.
That's it. And
exactly. You can actually put a stop to that.
yeah.
You can.
And it's not going to be
that.
easy.
No.
But it's not impossible.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right.
6 weeks after they left, I decided that enough was enough. And I left the crack house that I was living in at the time, the crack den, and decided to go stay with some people that I knew weren't using. And I'd be a liar if I said that was the last time I ever used. I got clean for 3 weeks, and I had follow-up court cases. In my 5-month relapse, just off meth alone, I put myself into $25,000 in debt.
Yeah.
I went to court about 12 times. I now have criminal convictions that are still with me today. And the only thing that I think saved me from going away was the fact that I could show the judge that I had made efforts, not because no court wanted me to, because I wanted to change my life and to do better, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, from a few court appearances with everybody that I used to use with, because we did all the crime together, I went back out there and got high one last time. And that one last time, it was, got on one night, it lasted 3 days. I was in 2 car accidents. I did a hit and run from one accident. They're all from one use.
Wow.
I had police after me, chasing after me again. The people that I thought were my family abandoned me, left me to fucking dry, you know, pretty much told the cops where I was. And looking back, that was the best thing that could have ever happened. Because when I first got clean, I was walking away from the drugs, not the people, not my friends, not my so-called family. They were all still out there on a high pedestal.
Yeah.
You know, I was only walking away from the drugs. But in that last use, when I seen for myself that I can't use one time without disaster happening.
Yep.
And these people that I thought were my family didn't give 2 shits about me. They only gave a shit if I had drugs, or they could get high with me.
Yep.
That saved me from myself. And from that moment, I got clean and I have not used again since.
It's amazing.
And on Saturday, it would be 1,000 days ago that I asked you guys.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Fantastic.
Nearly 3
That
years.
is brilliant.
I now have my kids back.
Wow.
15 months they were gone in the end. My 13-month clean date I went to mediation and I fought. You know, I did everything my mother didn't do.
Yeah.
And I got them back. I won the case and I brought them home. And now they do recovery with me. They did addiction with me, so they have to do recovery with me too. They don't have a choice.
That's awesome.
Because it saves lives.
Yeah, it does.
And they are helping other children too.
Wow.
They last school that they were at, 2 friends of mine who are in recovery also. One's struggling a little bit, and my kids got to spread the love with these children because 2 of my friends' kids are now in foster care, and we're in my daughter's class. And God's bringing my children into paths of other children who can show love and show hope that is possible. You know. Yeah. So I've been very blessed. I can also spread toxicity through my children, and I did that for many years. But with the love of God and the love of Jesus, I can show love to them, and that generationally is spreading out to their friends who are also children of suffering addicts. Who may one day become a suffering addict themselves.
That's right.
But they get to see that, you know, addiction is not the end of the world. It will not kill them.
You can change it. You can change it. You can flip that over, like Renae's done. I don't know, if we're talking to you out there, you might be somebody that's been sent this clip and you might be using, and you can see the impact. Renae's been clean for 3 years. She's got now her kids back, and she's flipped it. She's going, no, I'm not going to carry this on for another generation. I'm not going to allow my kids to go through what I've been through, and and keep it going. Somebody has to stop it.
And God's blessed me again.
Yeah.
I'm now 3 months pregnant.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful.
So this child has the opportunity to live a life where they never see me drunk.
Yeah.
They never see me high. If I choose to not use
and you need
tomorrow
to choose
like
every
I
day.
did every day.
Every day. Every day. It's a choice every day. You wake up tomorrow, it's a choice that you make. I just stay clean.
And it's crazy to say out loud, but you get to a point where you actually don't want to use.
Yeah.
Because you love yourself enough to not put yourself through that torture.
Yeah.
You know?
I bet you never thought that you would be there in that place.
No, I thought it was impossible.
Yeah. You didn't know it.
I've never seen it.
You?
Never seen it.
And that's what we've worked with people. I've worked with somebody that said, I don't know what that is, what love is. I don't know what freedom from that is.
And they don't. They really don't.
No. But it's possible.
My brother is still in active addiction. He's still suffering. And he's like that.
Yeah.
You know, he sees it in me, but he doesn't think it's possible for him. You know, and that's what this shit will do. It will make you believe that you are not worthy of happiness, and you are not worthy of being loved and lovable, and to love other people.
And that's a lie from the pits of hell, Renae.
That's
a lie.
That's a lie.
We are created, to have life and have a
perfectly
wonderful life, with love. And life's not perfect. We're going to have speed bumps, we're going to have problems, we're going to have arguments, we're going to have stuff's going to happen. But, tell me.
But you will get to a point where it doesn't matter what is happening, using is not going to make that any easier.
No, that's right.
It only makes it harder.
Tell me about the contrast in your life today. How does it contrast with your life before? Like,
that's easy. There was darkness, now light.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
When I first decided to get clean, it was hard. The first few weeks, I was insane. Yeah. And I had no drugs to fix that.
Yep.
So I was utterly insane. And
were you angry? Were you sleeping? What was going on? How'd that look?
How did it look? It looked like I was laying in the middle of a driveway praying to something out there that I didn't even really believe in, to make sure that I didn't wake up the next day. Wow. And God's got a good sense of humour. He's a bit of a cunt like that.
Yes.
I love you, but seriously, bro. He did better than make sure I woke up. He woke me up internally,
Yeah.
And all I could hear in my head was to be different. I had to do different, and that was on me. Nothing or no one was going to do that for me.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be different, I had to do different things.
Wow.
It's that simple,
Where did you get the knowledge and the strength to do different things? What was that? What did you do?
The knowledge, I had no idea.
Yeah.
All I knew is if it was something I knew already, then it was bad.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
That was it. If it was something that I knew and had tried already, then it sucked balls and don't bother. Because it doesn't work.
I love how real you are, because a lot of people out there are going to be relating to this. Yeah.
If it made me feel really uncomfortable and I didn't want to do it, made me dig my heels in and go, fuck you, then I probably should do it.
Okay.
Because I got to a point where I realised that I actually have no idea.
Tell me about, because you're referring to God, tell me about how did things change for you? When did you realise that this is a spiritual problem and that I needed to connect
Okay, well, I ended up sending, I did research. I did what every young person does and goes to Dr. Google.
Yes.
And I was looking for anything that I'd never done before, and that was religion, church, everything that was a complete opposite to gangster street crime and bullshit.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
Because that was all my mentality was, you know, the complete opposite of all I knew.
You know why?
Because that's safe.
Not just that, addicts do that. You know, it's like
All or
you
nothing.
go all or nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
or one side or you go to the other side. But you know what? I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I ran to God.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, no, I don't want that. I'm going to run to God. You know, and that.
Well, I wasn't running to God yet.
Yeah, what happened?
I was running.
Searching.
Well, I was running to find out that if it was what I didn't think was real, then I was right, and all this was going to do was clarify my junkie mentality, to be honest. And going, I tried it, not for me, it's bullshit. Anyway, I'll stick with what I know.
Yeah.
And it backfired. It backfired. I ended up,
How so? What happened?
I found this church who do this organisation where they do food runs and bread, and I was like, okay, I know this place. Many mornings I would go to this place to get free bread so my kids had lunches, because even when I wasn't using meth, I was using all my money on alcohol and weed and everything else. So this organisation, at the time I didn't know they were church related. If I knew that, I wouldn't have gone. But that's what God knew too. God knew that.
Yeah.
All I seen was free bread. Kids could
right.
get to school. I could get high without having to parent. Double win.
That's what we do is on the streets
Yeah.
program. See, it works.
And yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll give these guys a go. So I sent the pastor an email, and I gave him like 1,000 questions on what he thought about addiction, homosexuality, divorce, everything that I, you know, the big open-minded, knew everything about everything, thought Christianity was about.
Yeah.
And he never gave me a reason to go, no.
Yeah.
He goes, well, a lesbian woman, for example, probably would not be a leader in our church, but would she still be welcome here to come to church and praise the Lord? Of course.
Yes.
Jesus sat with thieves, one. How would he not sit with a lesbian?
That's right.
I was like, I dig this dude. And everything else, there was something that I could not go, see?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And he linked me in with this woman who, although she's not an addict, has had family members who are suffering in addiction and have had addiction issues.
Again, the peer support, the lived experience peer support.
And
You see what we do?
she was actually going through a divorce with an ice addict. So, and she was one of the leaders in this church.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well maybe I know nothing. So that was an opening, and it was through a family member of hers that I got to get very close with. Showed me what recovery was, because he was doing rehab at the time.
Wow.
And
Hope.
I didn't need to believe that God was real, because all of a sudden all these things, all these opportunities and doors were opening.
Yeah.
All from that first thought to be different, I've got to do different. And I walked into church for the first time 2 days before my daughter's birthday, the only birthday in her life that I'd missed. And now on Sunday she's walking into church with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And my life has never been the same since. Like, for the first time I have purpose.
Mm.
And I don't need to pretend that I'm not an addict to have purpose.
Yeah.
I don't need to have some mask to pretend that I'm someone other than who I really am.
Yep.
Flaws and all.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. We're perfectly imperfect,
That's right.
which is what I say to our team, you know.
That's right.
All of us are perfectly imperfect, the way we were created.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Because God made us like this. Huh?
Did my life of hell suck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Would I ever go back and want to experience it all over again? No. But would I take it back? Never. Because it's opportunities like this, you know, not everybody gets out okay. Not everybody gets out.
Yep.
You know, to live another day.
Yep. How many people do you know? Do you know? Can you count on one hand? Maybe who if your circle came out of addiction? You said your brother's still in there. You know.
Everybody who I used to use with, 90% of them are dead.
Wow.
A lot of the people that I've become friends with in recovery are dead because of relapse.
Wow. Yeah.
I've been in recovery for just under 2.5 years, and I think I've lost 5 friends already. And they were okay. They were doing well.
Yep. Yeah.
But they thought they could do a grip on it and do what I did that party back when I was off the meth for so long.
Just one more time.
I can just do it one time.
Just one.
And it's okay.
Not even once for a reason, guys.
No,
Yeah.
not once.
We're not saying, you know, don't do drugs. We're telling you, this is what happens. This is what happens. Please, we're pleading with you, not even once, guys. Your life's worth much more than that.
If you don't do it for you, do it for the ones around you. Because soon enough, you will love them and learn to love, where in turn you will love yourself.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
That's right.
You know.
That's beautiful, yeah. And that's why we're here, guys, and that's why we're sharing today. Because if you have been sent this video, or you know, and you're out, and you've had enough, and you can see that where you're going, you know, you might just be thinking that you can start using recreationally. There is no recreational ice use. It's an entrapment. It's a lie. Reach out now before it's too late. You might think, oh, I don't have a problem. I've got it under control. Let me tell you, that's how it starts. Very
That is
quickly.
the problem.
It changes very quickly.
The moment you think you don't have a problem, is when you have a problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it will make you believe that you are in control.
Hijacks your brain.
What we say is pick up the phone, don't pick up the drugs.
Yep.
And,
That's good.
And I mean that, especially for women out there. I don't mean to genderize, but us women need to help other women.
Yep.
And mothers out there who are on the verge of losing their kids or have lost their kids. And don't know any other way just to numb that feeling, but just get high. You know, search my name on Facebook, ask me for my number, call me.
We'll tag you on here.
You know,
we'll tag Renae on here. But
I used to travel far distances to go and get on. I guarantee you, and I promise you, I will travel just as far to come and save a soul too.
That's beautiful. I'd love you to be part of our team.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Because your heart's the same as ours. You know, that's our heartbeat.
That's my purpose.
That's our heartbeat. You
Turn
know,
your pain into purpose.
That's it. It's beautiful. Really beautiful. Guys, it is time for us to wrap up on the show, but we will be tagging Renae in on this show, and you know, she will be hopefully joining part of our team.
I'd love that.
And you know, you will be able to connect with her or with any other of our educators and addicts, if you want to put it like that, or people in recovery, because we want, our heartbeat is that, you know, we want to hold your hand and we want to help you create a life worth living. Yeah, turn your pain into purpose. That's amazing, and that's what we do here. You know, we have a reason bigger than ourselves to live, and to change things and to turn it around, because every day we are changing lives. Every day we're helping another person out of the hell. Every day we're getting in front of these kids and warning them before it's too late, before they pick up. And don't think it won't happen to your family member. You know, don't kid yourself.
Already is. Yeah. We just don't even know.
Renae, any final messages to people out there?
To the ones who are suffering, you know, there is help out there. You know, you just got to have faith and trust that you'll be guided to the right people. You know, nothing happens by accident. You are here.
Yeah.
not by fluke, not by chance, not by accident. It may not be your doing, but maybe it's a power greater than you that's helping you where you want to be and hear what you need to hear and connect with the people that you need to connect with. For family members who have suffering in their family, you know, it's okay to not know, and it's okay to not understand, but what is not okay is to pretend that you do and not be open to just loving on them and not seeing them for their disease, because that's not who they are.
That's great. Yep.
What they do is not who they are.
That's right.
And there is a reason why they're trying to numb. Figure that out and help them with that, so they don't need the drug as a band-aid. They need your arms and a hug instead.
Yep. Beautifully put. And, you know, for the families out there, we want to help give you some insight into that and into the mind of your loved one on what's going on, and give you some tools, to be able to help them, some resources, some detox, some rehab, some AA groups. Understanding is the first step, and then we can move forward and create a plan to help your loved one.
Don't enable.
Yeah.
Please don't enable.
Definitely.
Because though you're killing them.
What's enabling like? People go, I'm not enabling, that's my kid, man. I can't leave him out on the street.
Okay, well, I asked them one question. Do they have them under their roof, and are they supporting them to help their child or to make them feel better as a parent? And sometimes if it's make you feel better, then you might as well put a loaded gun and shoot them in the head, because it's a quicker and less painful death for your child. And I'm sorry for you addicts that have heard me say that, and you're probably hating on me right now. I get it. I was hating too. But until you find your own rock bottom, you'll never fucking be worthy or feel worthy enough to want change.
Yep.
And that's where the miracle lies. That's where living starts.
I really love your heart, and I love how you can be so real and speak truth in love to everyone out there today. Renae, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you do a quick shout out to the number that they call for help?
Yeah, call 1-800
No
to ICE.
Yeah.
That's 1-800-666-86423.
Awesome.
And if you have a drug problem, please Google search too. I hope I'm allowed to do this, but Narcotics Anonymous.
Our first point of call is that we bring them in and we get them a buddy, and then their buddy can help them go find their local NA. We put them on a tripod system of support, so NA is one point, buddy's another, and we hook them up with a counsellor. And that's your first point. And just getting helping you with that process, putting that in place. And once we start our journey, then we look at what else you need. You might be on the street, you might need food, you might need in detox, you might need live-in rehab. Everyone's different, but we just ask, reach out and contact us. We want to hold your hand through this. We want to walk with you. And know that recovery is possible. Look, and it starts with you. It starts with you. The next generation starts with the change that you say, no more. No more. Don't know how to change it, but I know it can't stay like this.
That's right.
And we're here to help, guys. 1-800-NO-TO-ICE is the number. Do it today. You can private message us on Facebook. Right now. And we'll be able to start that process. Okay.
Love y'all.
Beautiful, Renae. Thank you so much, guys. God bless. Take care. Stay clean. Okay. And we'll speak to you next week.
Stay clean in quarantine.
That's beautiful. God bless you. Can I show you a not even once?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. There's not for N, even once. Not even once, guys.
Fuck drugs.